But obviously, you talked about the struggle of COVID. That must have been big. And some people adapted with micro weddings. How did your industry adapt to when COVID hit? Because no one was really getting married at that time.
That period was a pretty crazy period because all the weddings are canceled. Not until after a year they allowed 50 guests. That was also a struggle because the policy and the guideline was not straightened out. It was still, there's certain black and whites. There's certain area that the locations may be open air maybe open location. There's certain location that doesn't want to even try coming back. So there's a lot of struggles. However, 2020 was our COVID year. 2021 was a comeback, like a slowly kind of
slow reopen.
And 2022 was the busiest in our 13 career.
Everyone was ready to get married.
Yeah, and they all kept pushing that year. So it essentially didn't really financially hit us too bad, but it kind of hammered us into a really
Crunch
busy
time.
Yeah, and then 2023 was like meh.
Oh, so it died because everyone got married, and then it was like no one needed to get married again.
Yeah, 2024 is also a very easy year for me. That's why I can do this with you right now. I think it's about 50% of the weddings that we used to get.
Wait, 50% like on average, or 50% compared to after COVID 2023?
After COVID 2023, I think. Yeah, so it keeps on sliding. Different factors because we haven't lowered our prices to be more competitive. There's a lot of new photographers out there. There's a lot of new vendors out there. But we have a word of mouth, and we uphold our quality of work and also the work devoted to it. But people don't usually see that sometimes. So cautious for new brides and grooms is to really connect to your photographer and get the experience that they can give you. If that's not what you're looking at, it's okay, because there's photographers who have experience. There are photographers who have really good art. Again, different expectations. But yeah, we have had a lot less wedding this year. And I think I was talking with a lot of industry friends during their experience the same thing. So essentially we wanted to say, I think there's a comeback. It's about to happen. But the nature may be different, or the spending amount may be different. Because I realize there's a lot more people are more financially educated. So they want to spend more money on things that have a bigger return. Wedding it's a party. So I don't think you get a lot of returns from that, except
it's great marketing. People have done a good job marketing weddings.
Yeah.
Speaking of money, obviously anything the moment you slap on wedding, it gets marked up by a percentage. Anything wedding related is a more very emotional buy, you would say. But when it comes to like money, obviously when you're first starting off, let's just say, for example, for me,
Yeah.
my best wedding photography is my phone. I have a camera, a Canon 80D with like a couple lenses, don't even know what they are. Someone like me, starting off, I'm guessing I'm not charging anyone. I'd have to basically do volunteer work because my portfolio would be complete doo-doo feces.
Yeah, that's right. If you wanted to really try, just try, like I said, you have a 90D or 80D. 80D. Okay.
80D, yeah.
Just use that and shoot, because you need to get familiar with where you're positioning. For example, one of the biggest challenges I've had before is when the bride comes out. How do you use that camera to actively search? Because back then, AI Servo, which is Canon's AI seeking focus, is not as strong, right? So you have to focus when she walks. So you maybe get, like, for me, it'd be 1 or 2 photos as she marches out down the aisle, right? But nowadays, it's a lot easier. If you were to get one of these mirrorless, all you have to do is hold on to this button, put it on her face, you keep on shooting, it'll get you all 100% nice, sharp, amazing photos.
Okay, how much is that body, and what's the lens, and how much is that lens?
I
And
use
is this
an
what
R5.
you use for? Is this
Yeah.
actually what you use for weddings?
Yeah, this is what I go for. So R5 is a I think $4,000 camera.
$4,000
Yeah.
camera. Okay, that's just the body, right?
Yeah, and I normally, before this lens came out from Canon, which is a 28-70, I think this is about 3,800. I use a 51.2. 51.2 is, I think, about $3,000, and this is the lens that I would suggest anybody that goes into weddings
Did you
to
just say
buy.
3,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this is one camera and one lens that you want to have in your arsenal.
And this is more, not budget, but would you say this is mid-tier, premium, high-tier premium, as crazy as you get? Like, what would you say this camera ranks in
I
terms
think
of like,
everyone has one.
wait. What do you mean everyone has one?
Every photographer that I know has at least some sort of a 50 1.2, 50 mm 1.2, and then a full frame fast enough camera. So I would say if you were to start, spend about $5,000. That's maybe your entry budget, right? Your body's at least 2,000, and your lens, you would have one or two lens. You know, 2,000 is normally a good decent lens, right? And then another 1,000 is for maybe a wide angle, or maybe something different, or maybe a telephoto that's more close up, right? Because you need to have certain photos where the groom or bride is doing the speech. You want to be able to get a little bit close up shots, right? And then you want to have the wide shots where you see everybody, or a lot wider. So you need to kind of stage where you're delivering your story, right? Because you're telling a story essentially for the whole wedding day. So yeah, I'd say spend about $5,000 to $6,000 to begin with. Not just because it's a dollar value, but it's because you want to have a full frame camera and a fast enough lens so that your daytime and nighttime, which is indoor, you still get your high ISO, you still get your fast enough lens so it's not too dark. So that's where we start with.
Basically, you can capture the biggest range to be able to capture everything. With that being said, though, should you charge hourly or should you charge for the package? As like a wedding photographer, would you be like, all right, I'm going to charge by the X hour, or I'm going to charge you, this is the package deal for everything?
So I would start with, wedding starts with a package. We would start with 8 hours, 4 hours or 8 hours. Then you add additional hours to it. That's your question and answer.
And that's how you do it. So the package is the hours, basically.
Yes.
Okay, so editing, the time that you spend editing, is also included in the price factor?
Yes.
So if you spend 4 hours editing, that's like 4 hours worth, and that's a package.
Yeah. So it's not too complicated for a couple to think about how much do I really have to spend, because we have, this is our tradition. We want to keep it very simple for our couples. The money you see on your bill, that's all you need, unless you have to add hours on the day off, or you have to add products, let's say a canvas or albums or printing, then you pay extra. Otherwise, it's one price, we walk away that one price. And even if I were to shoot extra at our discretion, you don't pay for that.
Okay, so you have it like very outlined, so you're like, this is the package, 4 hour, 8 hours, and based off of what package you pick, this is the amount of editing that's going to be, because you already know what it's going to be. So then you allocate, this is how much you're going to have to pay minimum, but this is the price, and you don't charge more if you go over. And so they have it all front loaded. When the customers do pay, do they pay in the beginning? Do you take all up front, deposit? How do you do it?
So back to what you said, if I shoot extra at our discretion, we don't charge you. But if we come to you and say, hey, you know what, we're kind of done. Do you want to extend the hour? Then obviously you know what to do, because there are some weddings that does get extended, just like your wedding.
Yeah,
right?
it's delayed.
It's not your fault, right? But there are some weddings that I get really hyped up and I keep on shooting, and I just go, you know what, I just want to stay here. It's fun. Wife doesn't like that, but you know. So your other question is, do we take deposit? We do. We actually take deposit first, and then before the wedding, we take the rest of the payment. So, yeah,
Before the wedding?
Right before the wedding.
Why is that?
Because it's harder to chase after somebody after the fact, because either you would be going for a honeymoon, or there's certain things that could have happened. Again, could.
Okay,
I don't need those photos anymore.
It might not be one wedding now.
Different reasons, but for whatever reason, wedding vendors get all their payments, just like a restaurant right before. Oh, well, no, hang on. Some restaurant and some golf course actually take the final payment because there's different variations of combination. Maybe there's more people or less people, so they take it after. But photography,
But photography is locked.
Yeah, we're doing it before.